Today we find ourselves at Jamaica Station, which is Long Island Railroad's largest transfer point. I'm here on my way into Manhattan, and it's a busy morning with lots of activity. This is my first stop today of a few for seeing some trains, so thank you for joining me. First up is New York and Atlantic's RS-71, which is local freight from Long Island to Fresh Pond and Queens. What we're looking at here is a PR-20B, which is a locomotive that has been newly rebuilt by Progress Rail in 2016. It is an updated GP38 and utilizes clean emissions technology thanks to a new CAT 3512C prime mover. Following that is another GP38, unit number 402, which is leased to New York and Atlantic, and then an MP15 AC locomotive, number 159. These three locomotives have a combined horsepower of 5,600 to pull this 40 to 50 car load to Fresh Pond and Queens. It is there that they will interchange with CSX. Next, we're moving on to Penn Station, as I board a Penn Station bound M7 train myself. This is a good chance to get a glimpse of Sunnyside Yard in Queens just before diverging into the East River tunnels. It is one of the largest yards in the New York City area and it is owned by Amtrak, but used by Long Island Railroad as well as New Jersey Transit. This is where Amtrak services their equipment and also features a balloon track for turning all trains to return to Penn Station. That is why you'll see so many New Jersey Transit trains laid up here. Arriving at Penn Station, it only takes a few steps onto the platform for you to start seeing different Amtrak equipment. Right off the bat, there's an Amtrak Keystone service train to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, pulling up to the platform. These trains utilize old Metroliner cab cars that predate Amtrak back to the Penn Central era. These old coaches were built as the first high-speed trains in America and served as the basis of the original Amfleet coach. And their days are numbered as Amtrak continues to develop and eventually employ new trains that will replace these aging coaches, so make sure you get out and see them while you can. Just as I was getting started in Penn Station, I saw that there was a few trains coming in from the north. I thought it would be a great time to go to a special spot at street level in Manhattan. There's a spot I discovered on either 45th or 46th Street closest to 10th Avenue. It's one of the only spots you can see Amtrak trains coming and going to Penn Station from street level. When you walk up to either side, there's a chain link fence that you're able to look through and see down to the tracks. It looks like someone came with some cutters and made a nice camera-sized hole for people just like me on the 45th Street side. There is another spot like this a few blocks north, but unfortunately, they're building a high-rise on top of it as of recently. That means this spot might be on borrowed time as well. All Amtrak trains departing north from Penn Station on the Hudson Line, like the Empire Service, Adirondack, Maple Leaf, Lakeshore Limited, and Ethan Allen Express trains, will pass through here. I'm sure I could be missing some. Due to East River tunnel work, Amtrak will be using one P32 ACDM locomotive on each end of Empire service trains to decrease traffic by eliminating the turning around and servicing of trains in Sunnyside Yard. Amtrak will service its equipment on these trains on the other side in Albany. Sometimes Amtrak has been sticking a P42 locomotive on one end of the train, and today we're lucky enough to have an appearance by the 50th anniversary unit number 100. They had to stop due to the fact that it's only a single track into Penn Station. Really quick, I would like to show you one other spot you can see down to the tracks from street level. If you travel south to Hudson Yards on 36th through 39th Street, you can see down to the tracks below. When I got here, it was my first time at this spot and barely caught this Ethan Allen Express arriving beneath me. Back down in Penn Station, I decided to see what interesting things we might find when I saw what looks to be an extremely old Penn Central baggage car buried at the end of one of the tracks in the yard here. Upon some further research, it seems to be used for storage of tools and materials, which would make sense. I spy two Amtrak Viewliner Phase 7 sleeper cars arriving, so we'll go check those out in a second. These new Phase 7 sleepers are on train 97, the Silver Meteor, to Miami. They were first rolled out late last year starting on the Floridian, but have since been put into service on East Coast routes that utilize single-level equipment. Not much was changed besides the paint though, as these cars did not go through a massive overhaul, but just a fresh repaint. Here here comes New Jersey Transit's ALP 46, number 4636, the Pennsylvania Railroad Heritage Unit. This is an all-electric locomotive that NJT uses to pull bi-level cars into Penn Station. It is one of my favorite classic heritage units. Here's a quick glimpse of a Long Island Railroad diesel set moving from the West Side Yard through Penn Station. There's only 1 or 2 diesel trains a day that actually originate here at Penn Station during peak travel times. With Amtrak debuting its new Avelia Liberty trains anytime now, the chance to see and ride the old Acela trains are now dwindling, so get out and do it while you still can. Just before getting out of here, NJT's Erie-Lackawanna ALP 45 DP Heritage locomotive was arriving. I've made a previous video on that and other NJT locomotives. If you're interested in checking that out, I'll drop the link in the description below. And that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks so much for joining me as we venture around the New York area looking for trains to spot. I'm on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers, and as a new YouTuber, this can be pretty tough. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up or perhaps consider subscribing. I will be doing my best to upload more consistently. If there's something you want to see or have any feedback, feel free to drop it in the comments. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you all next time.